Food insecurity. Food security crisis is on the horizon, and experts now are saying that it could kill more people than COVID did worldwide. I hope we're not going to feel it too horribly here, but if we have open borders, we will, because they will come in droves, because they will not have food in South America. And we should do everything we can. I mean, if I were president today, I would make it very, very clear. I'm cutting the red tape on all energy. I'm cutting all the red tape on farming. And, we'll come back to normal. But right now, we need people to farm and to drill and get energy out of the ground. Do you know what we could do for the rest of the world in good? Not by not being involved in war and everything else, just by saying, farmers, here's the mission. Our moonshot is to feed the world in the next 12 to 18 months. So gear up. What do you need? We have a moonshot. We need to get oil to the rest of the world because Russia is going to cut off the oil and the gas. They're talking now already about rationing gasoline and fuel in Germany. This is going to cripple Europe, and we will go into war if this actually happens. And are we stable? We could be so stable right now financially if we were doing the right things to help people in the world. Meanwhile, we're just pissing everybody off, and China's holdings of U.S. debt have fallen below $1 trillion. That's the first time in 12 years. They're liquidating all of our bonds. They are not holding our debt. That leaves Japan, which is on the verge of oblivion. That leaves Japan as the largest holder now of our U.S. treasuries. Soon it will just be the Fed. FBI and DHS also have confirmed. And again, are we getting stronger or weaker? FBI and Department of Homeland Security are purchasing and using Chinese-made drones from a company with close links to the Chinese government. So everything is linked to the Chinese government. You own a business, you have a party member there that is making sure that everything you do helps China. We have been warning that we cannot use Chinese technology because Chinese technology is gathering information, and especially from the DHS and the FBI. Why would you want to use drones that would send information to China? It's this craziness. The only reason you do that is because you're making money. Or you're beholden to the Chinese government. Also, Shut Down D.C., another Marxist group. Shut Down D.C. just announced that they are going to disrupt the congressional baseball game. That's smart. That's smart. I can't imagine anything going wrong there, getting a bunch of liberals to show up at the baseball diamond. Oh, my gosh, I just realized that's a really bad idea. Didn't they try to kill all of the Republican members of Congress at that same baseball diamond?
Oh, yeah, but that was so long ago.
They forgot. We should remind them. Who even remembers it?
Nobody.
Yeah, and they deserved it anyway. Meanwhile, on the crisis list, BlackRock, its profits have fallen 22%. BlackRock is not making the money that they were hoping that they would make on this new Green Deal. And speaking of the Green Deal, Biden, according to the Washington Post today, could declare a climate emergency as soon as this week. The potential move comes days after Joe Manchin told Democratic leaders he does not support his party's efforts to advance a sprawling economic package this month that includes billions of dollars to address global warming. If emergency is invoked, it could empower the Biden administration in its efforts to reduce carbon emissions and to foster a cleaner energy. Two of the individuals with knowledge of the discussions say that they also expect the president to announce a slew of additional actions aimed at curbing planet warming emissions. The exact scope and timing of any announcement remain in flux. The president made it clear if the Senate doesn't act to tackle the climate crisis and strengthen our domestic clean energy industry, he will. So that's really good. Jared Bernstein, top White House economic advisor, emphasized to reporters at a news briefing earlier in the day that Biden would work aggressively to attack climate change. So we got that going for us. We now have the last piece that is needed to take over a country. You just need an emergency. That could happen as soon as this week. Meanwhile, House Democrats are pushing a bill to add 4 seats to the Supreme Court. Unbelievable.
Now that would
by
be
the way, catastrophic. It's over. Mm-hmm. You couple the Supreme Court with what would have to be also a filibuster reform, but you pack the court, you get rid of the filibuster, and you declare in a national emergency. You do not return from that. You don't.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's accurate. It's frightening, but it's definitely accurate. And this would accomplish his goal of finishing the fundamental transformation of America that Obama started. And that's what he plans to do, I think.
Imagine America being lost. I mean, I think we're going to really see, the world will feel America's loss, I think, in the next 24 months. I think when we start to go into global food crisis, there are not going to be bags of wheat from the United States that are coming in. There's not going to be all that food that we've shipped that usually rots on the tarmac because, it's all corrupt. And I think we're going to see the rest of the world feel the absence of the United States in our charitable giving. It's terrifying. Terrifying.
Well, by far, for as long as I think any kind of records have been kept, the United States of America, American citizens have been the most generous on the face of the planet, to the tune of, we think that our government gives a lot in foreign aid. Private individuals and corporations give over $300 billion a year to the rest of the planet. So, I mean, that's something that, if we have a catastrophe, then those people in poverty, in abject poverty, they're going to be left to fend for themselves. It's going to be a disaster if it happens.
I think this is going to be remembered as Mao's 5-year plan, when he starved millions of people to death because he knew a better way to farm. And he didn't. He knew nothing about farming. But he claimed that, he was inspired and he could fix farming for China. And the first year, I don't remember what it was, like 2 million people died. And he said, just keep going. Then the next year, like 10 million people died. In the end, I think it was 30 million that died in his 5-year plan. And he didn't care. He just didn't care because it's good for everybody else. This is so Malthusian. The Malthusians believe that we got to get rid of humans. There's just too many humans. And any way to liquidate humans is good. Now, think of that when you talk about climate change. How many people do you hear when they talk about the planet, talk about how it's too crowded, we have too many people, I don't think we need to bring any more people into the world. Look at the Malthusian kind of attitude of the complete live system, that once you're over really 50, but definitely 60, you get very little medical care because there's no purpose for you to live anymore. You're not serving society. It's a frightening thing when you look at the same kind of progressive thought that brought you Planned Parenthood and the murder of millions of babies. The same group of people, the American progressives, that taught Germans about eugenics and all of the nasty stuff of race purity. A lot of that came from us and our progressive movement here in the United States. Mm-hmm. That kind of stuff is still going on in just different ways, but it's still going on. You wipe out a whole bunch of people using starvation because of a war. We couldn't do anything about it when it's absolutely a lie. When we are just going to have to take those blows to the face because we got to get off of green energy. If people are suffering or die, they don't care. It actually helps their plan.
Well, you remember what Bernard Shaw said in what is this, the 30s?
You must all know half a dozen people at least who are no use in this world, who are more trouble than they are worth. Just put them there and say, sir or madam, now will you be kind enough to justify your existence? If you can't justify your existence, if you're not pulling your weight in the social rope, then clearly we cannot use the big organization of our society for the purpose of keeping you alive, because your life does not benefit us and it can't be of very much use to yourself.
George Bernard Shaw. That's just staggering. One of the most famous playwrights in world history, and that's how he felt about people. Whatever. If you can't produce as many potatoes as you consume, well, we're just going to have to kill you. I mean, not in a mean way. Well, we'll make sure that your death is fairly painless, but you have to be killed.
Well, he was and he was the guy who said there's got to be a way to have some sort of a gas or gas chamber where you could kill people quickly and efficiently. I mean, it's George frickin' Bernard Shaw that was the first to express gas chambers for the liquidation of people.
Incredible.
I mean,
jeez.
Wake up. We are headed in the same kind of direction with the same crazy, dangerous people.
If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe to our channel so you'll be sure to see similar videos from BlazeTV with the added bonus of signaling YouTube that your voice and opinion still matters. And if you're looking for more great conservative content, check out one of the 2 videos suggested here.